Today, we're going to be talking about how you prepare for virtual events and some basic do's and don'ts. I know that it can be really stressful in general to think about career events, and that making them virtual adds some new layered challenges or complexities. We hope this video is going to peel back those layers and help make you feel as prepared as possible for these types of events. So, we're going to start by talking about how to prepare in advance. The beautiful thing is, for the most part, how you prepare in advance is how you would normally prepare for any kind of event or interview. So you're going to practice, research the employers in advance. They're all going to be on the Handshake platform, which makes it really easy. The only new thing that's a little bit different is looking at your technology. Every event is going to tell you recommended browsers or supported browsers, what particular platform they're using for a video. So you'll know that stuff in advance. For example, for the Expo, you want to make sure that you have Google Chrome downloaded. It is the best supported browser available, and you'll experience the least technical difficulties. Now, when it comes to preparing, I really encourage that you use Big Interview. So you can sign on using UT's single sign-on. We have a link on your Canvas page. So the site has two distinct features. One are these really helpful informational videos about how to interview. Second, they have a plethora of pre-prepared interviews. So you can watch the interview question, answer on the spot with varying levels of difficulty. They're designed for different fields, so you can choose the particular fields that you're interested in. This is the best way for you to practice for a virtual interview because it's all recording you. So it's just like if you were having a pre-recorded interview or doing a live interview virtually. Day of is where we start getting into a little bit different than what we would traditionally do. You've already in advance signed up for one-on-one or group sessions, so you know the employers you're going to, you know your exact schedule, and there's no waiting in lines, which hopefully is exciting. You're going to use some of that time to instead focus on things like figuring out where you're going to be, finding a neutral space, a neutral background with decent light, ideally with minimal noise intrusion. That can be really challenging given that most of us don't have any kind of private space during the pandemic. So do your best to find a background that feels neutral. If you can't find a neutral background, for some events, you can use virtual backgrounds, which are great. Unfortunately, for the Expo, the platform that they're using does not support virtual backgrounds. Worst case scenario, you can potentially turn off your camera if it's just not a possibility to find a neutral space. We heavily encourage you to keep your camera on because it's going to be it's much easier for you to build a relationship with a recruiter, right, when you can see the person. Dressing professionally is going to be somewhat similar to what you would normally do, but again, you're really just worrying about what's in the frame of your camera. So it's choosing a shirt, ideally, that has maybe a collar, a blouse, something that just feels professional to you and reads well on screen. Sometimes something that might look good in person can come off kind of hard to read or hard to see on the screen. So you can test that out just to make sure that you feel good about what you're wearing. Internet is the biggest downfall or challenge for most of these virtual events. All I can say is check your internet connection, make sure everything is working, and do your best. You can log in up to 5 minutes in advance for your one-on-one or group sessions and up to 5 minutes after they've started. Especially for one-on-one sessions, you want to be on time. That ensures that you are going to have the full 10 minutes, which is a really short amount of time. And it also makes sure that you're demonstrating care and professionalism to the interviewer. And finally, eye contact. When you are talking to someone, look in the camera, right? So look directly into your camera, especially when you're answering interview questions. When someone is talking to you, look into your screen. Place your computer close enough to eye level that it's not going to be really, really dramatic when someone is looking at their screen versus at the camera. It's always going to be noticeable, but the less jarring you can make it, the better. Follow up, thankfully, is going to be identical to what you would normally do in an in-person event. So you apply to the postings that are exciting to you, send thank you notes to people. One thing to note about the thank you note. Let's say you have forgotten to mention something key. In your 10 minutes, you ran out of time. As you think about it, you're like, oh gosh, I should have mentioned this thing. You can send a thank you note that includes that thing in it. So you're really feeling like you're communicating exactly what you want to. So it's both a chance to indicate your interest in the company and also a chance for you to make sure you're sharing the key things that you think are most important. If you have more questions, of course, follow up with your coordinator. We are here to help. Thank you for watching.